Hey, this is the free application Gimp, and it's not something that I use frequently because I have access to Photoshop and I'd rather use Photoshop, but I want to provide you with something free because not everyone has access to the Adobe products. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and create a new document at 512 pixels at 72 ppi and select OK. So what it did was it came into a background color because this was a color that I had chosen when I was messing around with it. And that's okay, I'm just going to leave it there. So also you need to note sometimes the layers tab is not available. So over in your little tool option here, a little drop down, there is add tab, and you can add several different kinds of tabs to your toolbox. And if your toolbox is not showing, you just come over to Window and Dockable Dialog and select something, or just select your toolbox. But you can also do these dockable dialogues, and what a dialog is an actual dialog box. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create some kind of a texture here that I can use for sand or rocks. I'm going to come up to Filter, Render, Clouds, Different Clouds, and it's going to give me an option right here of what to do. I'm going to say, yeah, I kind of like that. And, you know, because I had that crazy pink color, it has come in and provided this wild thing here. I'm kind of liking it. I'm actually really liking it. But normally if you have your black and white, it would look completely different. So what I think I'd like to do, since I'm kind of liking this wild looking thing, is let's try some more filters and see what happens to our background here. So I want to try some noise, and I'm not sure what kind of noise I want, but something to make it grainy, because like I said, we want it to be sand or rock. So I just picked the first little noise area, and it looks pretty cool in here. I'm just gonna turn up these little things here and see what happens to the view. I kind of like it. Less means more grain. That's kind of interesting. So let me change some of the hue and the saturation and the values and see what, what happens. And it's all about play. It's all about getting in there and seeing what happens and making it yours. And there we go. We have a little stuff going on. That's kind of cool. I wonder if I could duplicate this layer. Let's see, I'm going to right click on the layer and I'm going to duplicate that layer. Well, that's kind of cool. I can. And then maybe change a color. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's just see. I'm going to change this color as well, just for grins and giggles. And go in here and try another render, just for grins and giggles. Oh, look at that, kind of really wild looking. So we're gonna just take the layer mode, after we made that other layer. I'm not really liking it. We're gonna see what they have here that maybe I can change the look at it and make it something that I like. That's kind of neat right there. But they have all these different looks. So you just play around with it and see what happens. Well, that's really different right there. And that one was called color. It's off of the recording. There's called value. And I'm just playing around to see until I find something that I kind of like. That's too weird. Overlay. Here's a grain extract. That's interesting right there. I'm kind of liking that. I wonder if I lower the opacity, what's going to happen. That's getting more like what I'm looking for, because I'm going to create a game that is a little, well, it's not going to be your typical regular terrain. I kind of want to make the terrain fantasy like. So let me just keep working on this and see what happens, and I'll come back with you in a moment. Okay, I think we got something going on. So this is what I did, folks. I went to the second layer here and I made it a grain extract mode, and then I lowered the opacity, and then I created yet another layer and threw in the paint bucket here and threw a color in, and I kind of, you know, I got what I want. I think you can see how to use it here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this, and the first thing I want to do is save it in its application format. So I'm going to save as a Gimp file, and I'm going to find my folder, File Management, File Management, File Management. I cannot stress File Management enough to you. So I'm going to go into the textures, and I'm sorry you can't see what I'm doing. So what I did was save image, went to my file, my basic file in here, File Management, and into the folder that I want, my texture folder. So I'm going to name this document. I'm going to call it Sand just for grins and giggles, and save it. I hit enter. You can click save. Now I also need to have this as some kind of a file format that I can import into Unity. And Unity takes so many different kinds of files, but you know, you can use JPEG, PNG, Photoshop, GIF. One thing about if you bring a Photoshop file in is you can edit it, and it does the updates right there.